what was your first impression when you heard Iron Maiden, or maybe when you saw the did you first hear the music, or did you first see the album artwork?
It was a combination. There was this magazine in Sweden at the time called OK, and it was all about visuals. There was mainly just pictures and not much text. Like there was just a little, this is the band in wherever, and it was just like photo. So you had to kind of fill in the rest. So I bought it because
It was the 80s version of Instagram, I guess.
Kind of, yeah, exactly. But without any, you didn't get much explanation. You didn't learn anything about the band. It was just like the way a band looked, and I remember buying it because I loved, they had posters of Depeche Mode or Duran Duran or something like cool like that. And then I saw these metal bands, and they were like, holy shit, this is weird. Like what's with Blackie Lawless, and why is he wearing what he's wearing, and he's like juggling with raw meat and shit. And then you started kind of seeing videos on TV. Like there was this kind of rock and metal TV show, and they played Wasp and Twisted Sister and Kiss and stuff, and it was kind of like, okay, this is kind of cheesy, but I'm drawn to it anyway. It's cool. And then of course, like the older guys in school, they were all listening to heavy metal, and I didn't get it. They had the tape recorders or boom boxes on the schoolyard, and I was like, this is something, and I was curious, but I didn't really know. So I asked my mom, can you buy me a Iron Maiden record, because they look so cool, and I love this. Yeah, Power Slave. Of course, the cover was so amazing, and it was in the back of the magazine. There was always adverts for new albums, and I just saw the cover. It was like, that's the coolest thing ever. That this is what I want. And then I got the cassette from my mom for my birthday or whatever it was, and I was so blown away by how cool it was. I didn't understand anything about music, of course, but the lyrics were amazing, and the whole vibe of the album was kind of like, I was blown away. And then luckily I had some friends who had older brothers, and they had more music. So you went to friends and it's like, oh, Metallica, give it to me, and then I found Creator, later on by my friend's older brother, and yeah, the rest is history. Like I was blown away. It was the coolest thing in the world. But I think I was drawn to the fact that it was considered dangerous. There were these TV shows back in '80s. I don't know if you remember, but like Twisted Sister was a big deal in America as well. Like they tried to shut it down, and they had these dangerous songs. Like in '87, Dee Snider had to kind of sit in court and be asked by Al Gore's then wife. It's like, oh, you're corrupting the souls of the young. That kind of stuff. And the same thing happened in Sweden, and I'm sure in Poland too. But that only made us more interested in it. So I think if they tried to kind of get the kids off of metal, they failed miserably. And maybe that's part of the rise of heavy metal in Sweden, just because it was such a moral panic. It was kind of like, oh, this is dangerous. The kids are going to be Satanists, And then of course that's what happened in Poland, right? Everybody became a Satanist.
Yeah. Yeah, it happened about a bit later in the 90s. That was like,
true.
We're a little behind that, but yeah. Okay,
yeah. Yeah, so that was the thing for us, like the danger, and this kind of like, holy shit, that there's something about this. And it was the same for me with death metal. You listen to Morbid Angel and Deicide and those kind of bands, and I was like, what is this? From what deranged mind comes this music? I couldn't believe it, and I loved it, and I just wanted to be a part of it, like do something, read all the fanzines and collect all the cassettes and demos and albums, and just get into it.
Yeah, amazing. And then Norwegian metal took it to the next level.
Yeah, that too. And that was pretty stupid, but at the same time, kind of fascinating. Musically, it was really cool as well, I think.